Good morning, Metru Nui! Welcome back to another episode of the Barraki Talk Show. We're your hosts, the Mielik brothers,
Jacob,
Samuel,
Thomas, and we're glad you're joining us today as we talk our way through the weird and wondrous world of Bionicle. But first, coming up on the Barraki Talk Show.
if I had to pick a single adjective to describe Bionicle, it's great, because everything is named great.
Yeah.
It's like, how many times could they possibly use this adjective
because
throughout
it sounds
the entire
like
story?
Greg.
Okay.
I was about to ask if that was the actual reason, and then I stopped for a split second to
that's
think about,
dumb.
like, no, that's stupid.
DA after writing the books, Greg is so great.
The way they drop the ball is incredibly disappointing, actually. And again, stay tuned because we'll talk about that.
In comparison to Wenua.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's incredibly disappointing right now. All that and more coming up on the Barraki Talk Show. Since this is a two-parter, we are departing from our normal structure and going from lore into the first part of this episode, which will be technical, and then we will go to Chronicler's Corner, where we'll do obvious normal Chronicler's Corner stuff, as well as an encapsulation of our thoughts about the Toa Metru as a whole, and then we will move on to the community section like normal. So I hope you enjoy this episode of the Toa Metru Part 2.
All right. So, as we know, this is 2004. And what else happened in 2004 that's notable about Lego? Oh, yeah, that's right. They almost went bankrupt. So
I thought they almost went bankrupt in 2001.
No, they
No.
were going. They actually
bad.
went to file for bankruptcy in 2004.
So Lego was going through some rough time in the late 90s and early 2000s. And it really all kind of culminated in 2004. So this is 2004. And you can see... So Bionicle is often attributed as the savior of Lego, right? And in a lot of ways, it did. I mean, if Bionicle hadn't have been... if Bionicle hadn't have been as successful as it was in 2001 and 2002, Lego as we know it might not exist right now. The other contributing factor was Lego Star Wars, which was released in 2000 or 99. And
the popularity of the the prequels helped with that.
for sure.
significantly.
Yeah, so it released in conjunction with Episode 1, which they released a wave of sets, and then, so between Lego Star Wars and Bionicle, that was really what pulled Lego out.
Well, that was like the
of-
main drive of Lego for a long time.
Totally.
They had other stuff, but even like Lego City wasn't really the main drive. It was always at the front, Bionicle and Lego Star Wars. That's
They pushed it
everyone
hard.
looked at as
Totally.
that was the representation of Lego.
Well, and it makes sense too because I mean you're looking at failure after failure. Really, I mean Galador. You had Galador, you had Throwbots, you had these are all just the Technic sets.
Yeah.
And then you had Adventures was really popular and was doing well, but it was actually in a hiatus period at this point in time. And you had some other original themes that just didn't do very well. World City was a thing at this point in time, which was just another flop. You had Jack Stone, which was right around here, which was Lego's attempt at a 4+. Lego was doing video games. They were trying to get into digital, other digital media. They did the movies. This is when Lego sold off Legoland. At this point in time, so they originally owned Legoland. They sold off Legoland, which they have since bought it back. And
But
actually,
it just shows you how desperate they were.
Yep.
They were selling everything they could just to stay above water.
afloat. Yeah. Well, and a lot of this had to do, and this is where it comes up in this. A lot of it had to do with the Lego system was kind of falling apart, no pun intended, as it was because there was constant innovation in piece piece design, colors, and they were making all kinds of stuff that was like a single use, right? In the sports theme, they had like this little stick thing that you could use to like spin the skateboards around, and all these were stuff like parts that were going to be used in one or maybe two sets,
Which
right?
would be really popular now.
Totally.
But
But at the time,
it was very yeah.
Like you wanted a lot of normal bricks, I would assume.
well, it wasn't even that. It was just that people, the cost of new molds, the cost of new colors, all of that stuff was just piling up, right? And it was all in this response to like we have to stay fresh. Yeah, we have to stay fresh. We have to stay interesting. We have to stay relevant, right? And so it was like all of this kind of culminated into just this pile up of bulk and waste and all that stuff. So the Metru are kind of one of the last bastions of that remnant of that philosophy where it's like we're gonna make it all new. We're gonna make it all these things.
Yeah.
A billion new molds, stuff like that. And you see that with some of the parts. In 2003 and 2004, they had a serious conversation company-wide, and they were like, all right, we need to move back to system. So they restricted their color palette. They cut like something like 33% of their colors or something like that.
Wow.
And we still don't have most of those back. They restricted the number of parts. So like for Bionicle, they were like, we're going to make it more modular. So they still have to make, our custom pieces for Bionicle and stuff like that. But it was more, we're going to make pieces that are more versatile that we can use in more models. Right.
Yeah.
And then there was also a reduction in themes. So they cut down a bunch of themes too and started to focus really heavily on certain ones. And then the collectability aspect was another thing that Bionicle dropped at this point in time. So 2004 was really the end of the collectability aspect. They had these discs that you could collect, and we'll talk about that more with the Kanoka. But that was pretty much the last collectible thing. And that helped a lot too with like, overproduction and stuff like that too. So, the way that I would describe the Toa Metru is new, right? This was still a holdover. Everything had to be new.
That's why it's called Metru Nui.
Right.
There's also Mata Nui.
Yeah, well, that's old.
Voya Nui.
Voya Nui.
I'm just
Carda
joking.
Nui.
I know, they're all called Nui. Because Nui just means great, apparently.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I'm not joking.
I just love if I had to pick a single adjective to describe Bionicle, it's great because everything is named great.
Yeah.
It's like, how many times could they possibly use this adjective throughout the entire story?
Greg.
Okay. I was about to ask if that was the actual reason, and then I stopped for a split second to think about it. Like, no, that's stupid.
DA after writing the books, Greg is so great.
All right. Anyway, while at this point in time, Lego had a whole bunch of new stuff. They had new colors. So like a lot of the Metru were in these new colors. So the dark colors, so like dark blue, dark green, dark red, those were relatively new. Those were like 2001, 2002 releases, somewhere in there. So that was new. The light brown color was new, and would really never be seen again after this. It was pretty much dropped and replaced with nougat. Yeah, that's
Nougat?
I hate you.
And so like this idea of like everything's got to be new was really kind of dropped for pretty much the whole rest of the Bionicle line. There was a little bit more of that toward the end, like later on with the Glatorian, but not so much. And then really in G2 is where it then again picked up, and it's like, all right, we're making everything new.
Did you
from
not
scratch,
see the
so.
Anika? They were vastly new.
Really, they weren't though, because a lot of the parts that were introduced
Have
in
you
that
seen their
were
heads?
reused again. Aside from the heads, the masks always were new. So there were always
The
new
masks
masks.
were new. The
Masks and
weapons were new.
Yeah,
Because you have like the feet, the legs.
there
some
were parts.
of the
There were
arms
parts
not
that were new.
But overall, like we saw it in that sense, like the Metru were uniquely different, I think, for the most part, especially with the Hordika. That was like, we never saw most of those stuff again. But I disagree because like the Mata had pieces, or in the Nuva had pieces from the Mata. with their legs and arms. And in the same sense, you see it in every single new iteration is the legs and arms are similar, but that's kind of where it stops.
That's actually not really true. I mean, with the Mata.
Wait, is it true or Metru?
With the Mata, there was the body piece was reused for the Nuba. That was it. The masks were all new. The heads were reused only again for the Nuba. The legs were new for the Nuba and never seen again.
The legs were new, but the arms were the same legs from the Mata.
The arms sometimes.
Some of them also
Most
had
of
the
them.
new legs
It
as
was
arms.
Yeah.
And so mostly it like the vast majority of pieces in each of the sets all the way up Portica were new and exclusive more or less to those sets. And it wasn't until later that we started seeing those parts popping up in other sets and being reused, right? So like you're looking at stuff when you get to the
Well, what I'm saying is the core build changed every single time. Some tiny remnants were reused, but these are tiny remnants that we have seen in previous transitions. Now we haven't seen like the Nuva. None of the Metru stuff came from Nuva, basically.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All of it was new, but I'm saying they didn't entirely ditch the new stuff, like creating brand new stuff.
No, they didn't.
There was just tiny remnants, so most of their printing was still new, moving from each Toa team.
Yeah, it just got less and less as we went on. Like the Glatorian are almost entirely reused from other like previous Bionicle waves. Basically, only the heads and the weapons were pretty much new. Everything else was essentially reused. That includes feet, like legs and arms, torso, everything.
Yeah,
even
the jump from Metru.
They even used Metru pieces a lot in the Glatorian.
Oh yeah, that and the hands. The hands were completely.
The hands were new. Yeah.
But yeah, that in that regards, yes, the Glatorian were, and I think it kind of contributed to their stuff, their sort of idea too of this barren wasteland, with scrapping things together. So that yes. But I'm saying from the Metru to the Unica, they still had that very different, unique look.
Yeah, they all look different, but it's more about the modularity of like being able to reuse. That's what I'm saying.
I think you see the structure change.
The structure
I think,
changes,
like,
yeah.
if I had to summarize what you're trying to say, or at least what I'm understanding, so correct me if I'm wrong, but like the structure changed very clearly from how the Mata and Nuva were built to how the Metru were built, and then the way the Metru were constructed largely, though it changes a little bit once you get that upper torso piece that then has the ball joints. Yeah, that, but like you have that hip piece, you have the jointed legs, joint arms, right? And it's like, and that sort of construction stays throughout the entire rest of the series. Whereas like the Nuva didn't have that. They didn't have articulation in the knees, right? They didn't, it like a lot of the pieces were very specific to them. And
so
then,
you're saying moving from like stationary one piece to joint pieces.
Yeah, and also just the general construction. Like they literally reuse like the hip piece that slots into the Toa Metru body is used, I think, all the way through Glatorian. Where it's like that,
fair.
you know what I'm talking about, the weird one with like the gear almost on the bottom.
Yeah.
So it's like, because they started moving into like pieces that they would reuse a lot more in the general structure of Bionicle.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. That,
but
in
yes,
that
like
regards.
specifics, definitely each wave had a new specific look and piece
and mechanics and things
but
like
it was
that.
like the overall form, I think. started to.
What I thought was really unique and really important or really cool is, other than the Mata Nuva, the blasters were all different and all this very unique new approach.
Yeah.
Like, we went from the Kanoka discs to the Zamaspheres, to the squid launchers and and then even the
Metru Nui.
Oh yeah.
We start to see.
I forget about the Card Nui sometimes.
We start to see a design philosophy shift that sort of starts with the Metru. The Metru are sort of like a bridge between the Mata Nuva and then the new stuff. The Hortica are weird because they're also sort of part of that, only because they start the concept of every Toa gets a launcher, right? So they all had the Rotuka launchers. Anyway, this is Boxor, but the idea being that there becomes this design philosophy shift that moves away from like functions and techniques into this we're gonna have cohesion in certain areas, and then
almost like they perfected their craft in some parts,
right?
And other times they're like, we can add this, but we want to also make it unique.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying then.
Yeah. Anyway, so then I think another phrase that might describe the Toa Metru is just similarity. They are super similar in a way that we never see before and never see after.
Yeah, they're basically the same with the
Inika,
different colors and different weapons and masks. Yeah.
They are literally identical builds minus their Toa tools and masks. That's it. Yep. Everything is the same. Height is the same. Piece, like actual pieces are the same. Everything is all the same. The only thing that's different is like those three unique parts and then the color.
And like the Toa Nuva, they all have the same secondary color, where instead of it being silver, it's gray.
It's gray.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it matches. So like where the Toa Nuva were silver, this one's gray.
To show that they're grittier, more down to earth.
Exactly. And
Metropolitan.
They use the darker colors, with the exception of light brown, which really annoys me. But yeah, so it does contribute to them looking more cohesive as a team, but it does take away a lot of the uniqueness that I think made the Toa Mata especially stand out, and the Toa Nuva also still stand out.
I think it also helped progress the idea of these side, the appeal of the side sets. Like, you're actually getting something different,
right?
Than in this other set here, like Kreka, Nidiki, Likan. They looked different and really cool because of it.
Which we really haven't seen since Rahi?
Yeah, because everything is basically the same. The Rakshi were all the same, the Barraki were all the same, the Barakal were all the same, the Matoran were all the same. It was basically everything came in a 6. Like a count of 6, and it wasn't. Yeah, the last time we saw things that were actually really unique, Rakshi. And we'll talk about this more when we talk about the other sets too, but the Rise of the Titans, which starts in 2004, is really becomes a core aspect of Bionicle and will continue all the way.
Which thank goodness, because great way to generate cool looking sets and lore. Titan lore is
I think it really opened up the idea that, hey, we can make these cohesive, sort of one basic design Toa and enemies, but then just open up your creativity box and mess around with these side characters and see what you come up with.
Yeah.
It really just gave the creators a lot of it's here, we'll write a blank check and let you guys mess with it.
Right. Yep.
Sort of scenario. I really liked that. I think it opened up a lot of creativity going forward.
It does, yeah. And also with in this wave you still have a lot of sameness because the Vaki are basically all the exact same build. the Matoran are basically all the exact same build. The Metru are all the exact same build. But then, you get Lycan, you get Doom, you get Rekka and Nadiki, and those are all very different. Yeah. So one thing that really contributes to the sameness of the Toa Metru, but also the newness, so many of their parts are new. So like you have the Metru foot, the Metru torso, the Metru shoulder armor, and these are all literally called Metru fill in the blank on Bricklink because that's where they started. But you see these pop up a lot more. And then ones that are like big time, like become staples of sets moving forward. You have like the lower torso with the 2 ball joint and 7 tooth half. Like what Samuel was talking about, the leg pieces, the hip pieces.
Those pieces rock.
That literally continues all the way up through Hero Factory. So that goes a long way.
Those pieces are so instrumental. I forget they're introduced in Metru. It's like, holy cow.
And they feel weirdly cohesive with later sets despite being introduced for the Metru torso system. So it's interesting. They were really...
Yeah, they just found ways to make it work in every single set going forward. It was like, this is now the staple for what we are going to be creating.
Yeah, it really contributes to that idea that they were really starting to forward think with this. One thing that was also new that I forgot to mention, elbows and knees.
Yes.
That was new. So this is the first time we ever see sets with both elbows and knees. So we've had elbows or knees before this, not both. So it's kind of interesting. The Rockshi had knees, Makuta had elbows, and now we have both. Another thing is the Metru leg lower section. You see pop up all throughout. Everywhere. Metru arm lower section, which is the short ball joint. You see that pop up in the Paraka. You see that pop up in the Matoran of later waves. The Toa Metru knee cover, which is weirdly named because it has nothing to do with knees, but it does have to do with the lower leg. That pops up later. And then the Bionicle head connector block, which is the Metru head. That shows up a bunch later. They use that all the way up to Mari.
Yeah, that block rocks way better than the Mata or Nuva heads.
It's good.
The Mata or Nuva heads they were on their own. That's just they were their own thing.
Yeah.
Whereas like Samuel pointed out and you were trying to explain, the Metru just set a staple. For these blocks are great here, but they can also be used elsewhere.
Right. Yeah.
And continuing going forward.
Yep. Yeah, that was the idea, I think, with a lot of the pieces that they were making. And I don't know if that was always intended or if that had, if that came as a result of the 2004 kind of slump where it's like, okay, now we actually have to make use of all these pieces that we've molded already. But either way,
be a little bit more
became
efficient.
Very versatile. Exactly. And so then the all-important piece makes its debut in this one, and that is Technic Axle and Pin Connector 2x5 with 2 ball joint sockets. And this is just the short ball joint to ball joint connector, which you see. It comes in 86 sets in this variant, and there's actually 3 variants of that part.
Yeah.
In 13 different colors, 13 plus different colors.
Nice.
So this part was used all throughout Bionicle, outside of Bionicle. You see it in Atlantis, you see it in Power Miners, you see it in Ninjago, and then of course it pops up as a later variant in Glatorian and Hero Factory as well. So it really, this part becomes crucial to what makes Bionicle, and then later it will be followed by its longer cousin. But between those two pieces, that makes up a huge part of the Bionicle system moving forward. So all of these new parts just like become indicative of the new philosophy that Bionicle is moving forward with modularity, being able to reuse parts as often as possible. I think what's interesting is for those of us who grew up with Bionicle in like post 2004, 2005, this feels really normal. This feels like completely usual, right?
Yeah.
But if you grew up with Bionicle before that and like RR Slugger, name drop RR Slugger, we love you, but I am going to criticize you really briefly. For him and other people like him, they grew up with the earlier iteration of Bionicle, so this starts to feel weird, right? This feels out of place because it's a different system.
Yeah.
I think that it starts in 2004, and it's interesting how the new system has a completely different feel to it that makes people go like, people that grew up with the Metru or the Mata and the Nuva, they go, this isn't Bionicle anymore, right? So kind of interesting.
Grow up.
So now we're gonna get into the individual set.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
It's okay. There's not that much to them. Like I said, they're all the same. Each set featured a unique color scheme, which is standard with the Toa due to their aforementioned shared look. There are actually only a few part designs unique to each set, and that's the mask and the Toa tools. So each Toa carried 2 Toa tools, except for Kama because he's special. And they were, the same 2 Toa tools. Each set featured 44 to 49 parts and originally retailed for $8. So this was the same price as the Nuva from 2003. So, which actually is a better deal because you're getting more pieces and a bigger set.
That sounds like a great deal.
Yeah. All 6 Toa featured the same basic build with an internal gear mechanism that would allow you to turn a gear on the back and swing both arms in opposite directions. But the arm gearing mechanism could also be easily removed by replacing the axles with axle pin connectors to make a more stable manual variant, so more posable.
Yeah.
What's interesting is in the art and the comics, the sets are depicted in 2 different ways. So on the box art and like in the design, and if you're building the set, there's like this kind of chest covering piece that you can remove to access the gears inside. But in the comics and in some of the art, that piece isn't there, and it shows the gears offside. And I don't know why they did that, but that's just an interesting side note. And also that one particular chest piece makes a huge comeback in Glatorian in 2009 for some reason. Super weird.
Yeah,
but
it was used for their health.
The
the health bars.
Health wheel.
Super interesting. So weirdly, if you look on Bricklink, you will see 2 entries and 3 entries for Vekama, of course, for each of the Toa Metru characters, and that's because there were 2 variants, and they were identical except for the main variant included just the parts to make the set, and then another variant included a mini CD with digital content on it, just like the Rock Shoe one from 2003.
If you buy them on Bricklink, do they come with the CD?
Mm-hmm. If you buy that specific
Okay, that's
variant,
cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. Yeah.
There was, and so the third one for Vekama was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, which, funny story, was supposed to include an exclusive Kanoka disc with a San Diego Comic-Con print on it, but because of a manufacturing error, that never got in. So it never made it into the sets. So the only thing that makes it different is there's a San Diego Comic-Con logo printed on the box.
Oh.
So rip to the people who were looking for
That's
a special
awkward.
printed
That's a
Kanoka.
bummer.
I know, isn't that a shame? Which is funny because presumably those discs exist somewhere, just not in the set.
Yeah.
All right, so first we got Vekama. So Vekama is dark red. His unique parts were his mask, which is the Kanohi Huna, or the Great Mask of Invisibility. Unlike his teammates, Vekama's Toa tool was a disc launcher of a more elaborate design than the basic one that came with the Matoran, this wave. This set also included one transparent dark red disc with a print of Vekama's head on it and his name in Matoric beneath it. This is meant to represent the Disc of Fire, and in lore, each Toa has one of these discs, but only one physically exists.
Yes.
Because only one could actually shoot it.
Yeah.
Other ones were just like there.
It would have been cool if they came with the disc at least. You know,
I don't know. It's like it was a little bit interesting. It's like they were kind of transitioning out of the collectibles, but still wanted to include them.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I feel. Is like, yeah, these were collectible, but we don't want to keep doing this. So they just kind of dropped the ball on the rest of them.
Totally.
Like, oh well.
And we'll get more to that when we get to the Kanoka episode too, because the way they drop the ball is incredibly disappointing, actually. And again, stay tuned because we'll talk about that.
In comparison to Wenua.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's incredibly disappointing right now.
So Vekama's Toa tool was unique to this set, so his launcher was unique to the set, and there was like a character builder creature builder pack, those big tubs that we've talked about in the past that had this. I'm gonna assume that the tool is exclusive to that set and that one pack. So if I say it's exclusive to this set, it's also in that one just tub of parts. Okay. But his mask would later be shared with a couple of other Matoran. So Balta from 2006, set number 8725, and Sarda, the Toa Metru from set 8940 Karzani from 2007. And it had an amazing, incredible use in set 7719, Quick Good Guy Red Polybag, also from 2006. So there were a bunch of these
great
polybags called Good Guy or Bad Guy.
Whoa, did you say dumb polybags?
Great polybags.
Great polybags.
Cut that,
Nui polybags.
Cut out dumb part out. Cut dumb out and put in great.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Nui.
I want you to make it really obvious that you cut out dumb and put in something else.
Great. It's just my voice.
Here's my yeah. Do that. Anyway, so I don't know why they made these, but they did, and they're really funny. So I need to look into why they were made. And that's Vakama. So next up we have
Whoa, I just want to say the Kanohi Huna is a sick looking mask.
It is a great looking mask.
It's good. Yeah. It's a nice follow up to the How.
Yeah, like it doesn't disappoint coming off of the How, which is crazy to say.
I wish it had included the blue visor that he has in the comics.
Yeah.
That would have been such a cool piece.
I agree.
But they also didn't really have anything like that.
You don't really see that until Mari with Polly's mask where it slides in.
They could have done
that would have been cool.
They could have done a transparent thing like they did for Golly's mask, right?
Yeah.
But I'm guessing
they were
just
really experimenting with dual molding and dual injection. So in this wave, the Matoran had dual color masks. They had a silver and then their primary color.
Something they were experimenting with.
Yeah.
There was evidence of that they could do it, but it wasn't it wasn't easily built.
Totally.
So
it would have made Vakama way more expensive than the other ones too, which probably would not have worked out very well.
Yeah, because you saw in Nokama's mask, it had that different sort of texture, but it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, speaking of Nokama.
Yeah, good segue into Nokama.
Nokama, set number 8602, has a dark blue color scheme, and she brings back the trend of the Toa of Water having transparent masks from Golly in 2001. Her mask is the Kanohi Rao, the Great Mask of Translation, and it came in a milky transparent blue and was included in this set and 2006's Voya Nui Matoran 8726 Dalu. Interestingly, this mask had some manufacturing issues apparently, and it varied in color drastically from a really light blue to a really dark blue. And Bricklink categorizes them all the same, but they are really not the same. If you look at some of them, some are super different. Light and some are really dark. It's really strange. I don't know what happened with manufacturing of this one, but that's probably why they never made any more transparent water masks.
Goodness.
I don't know. I like this one way better than Golly's.
Really?
Yeah.
I cannot stand. This is one of my least favorite mainline masks.
Yeah.
I actually really like it. I like the look, and I feel like the milkiness of the transparency allows the eyes to shine through without showing the whole face, which I never liked about Golly's mask.
Yeah, I disagree. I really like the sort of one shade throughout the whole mask. I think it helps make the eyes pop a bit more but you have to have the right color for it too, for it to make the eyes pop.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the Paraka, they had
with the light up
light up eyes. That was really cool.
True.
I was gonna say, I just don't like how bumpy the mask is, and the mouth makes her look ooh, she's always surprised. Ooh.
That's fair. That's a fair criticism, I think.
I don't know. I like it.
You're wrong, Jacob.
I know. I'm wrong. Okay, so Nokama's Toa tools were her Hydro Blades, and they were only found in this set, and of course the aforementioned Ultimate Creature Accessory Set Special Edition. Despite, or perhaps due to, being quite unique with their long, wavy handles and fin-like protrusions.
Yeah, I can see why.
They're kind of a weird piece, honestly.
Yeah.
They look cool. with no comma specifically.
Yeah, they do.
But I don't know how you would even use them anywhere else except it's maybe like a fin for a fish or something like that. But
Yeah.
now
I
it's my
thought that
challenge
was
to
cool.
try to use
Yeah.
them in something.
Yeah, go ahead, try it.
I will.
You'll
Send-
fail.
All right, next up we got Wanua 8603.
Sorry, I didn't mean to kill that.
Who are you, Onua?
Dang.
Try it. You'll fail.
Loser.
You fire spitter.
Dum-dum.
Wanua is the Toa of Earth who has black armor. And his mask is the Kanohi Ruru, which is the great mask of night vision. And as we've mentioned, it's really dumb. Not the design. I think the design is quite cool.
Oh, yeah, the
it's got this,
design.
like,
I love the design.
space helmet looking texture with these like intake things on the side and like
They
these
look like
very
big. You know what? It reminds me of like big filters, which makes sense.
yeah, like air
to,
filters. You're right.
To
What's in the
going
archives you
through
need.
the archives.
I also like
That
it because
totally
it keeps on with like the menacing theme of like Onua's mask for the Toa Mata. Like
Yeah.
it's a menacing looking mask, right? And this one also looks kind of menacing.
Yeah.
But like they're not menacing people,
Yeah.
you know?
I do like that it does have that like menacing look, and I think the darkness of it contributes to the fact that it looks more evil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Wanua, of course, also shares his mask with another 2006 Matoran, Garen 8724, and another set from 2006, the infamous Umbra 8625.
Ooh. Just out of curiosity, all of the masks other than the Nuva, and I guess the moving on to the Ignika, don't they all get used in some other form of Matoran?
Obviously not the Anika, not the Mari.
So I guess it was
Portica
just
don't either, right? I think it's mostly just
it's
Metru.
just
pretty
Mata
much
and
just-
Metru.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's kind of strange.
The two
Tarag-
best mask lines, so like I'm not opposed to it.
the Toa Mata masks, the Taraga masks, and the Metru masks get used a lot, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's fair. Except for the elephant-looking mask that the Taraga had.
Fakama, the Huna?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I like that mask.
I like it because it kind of looks like a beard.
So interestingly, this mask, the Ruru, is the only one that would get a recolor, and it came in dark blue as Sarda's Matoran companion Idris in 8940 Karzani. And if you own this mask, go sell it right now because it's worth a lot of money. I don't know why exactly. Probably just because it comes in a rare set and it's only that
That's
one.
the blue variant.
Yeah.
The blue version.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say
the blue version.
that
Specifically
mask comes
the
in
dark blue
three
version, yes.
different sets.
That's because Wanua was so lame, no one bought his sets, so there's only like one
Ooh,
mask in
got him.
circulation.
Oh.
For any Wanua lovers out there, I'm so sorry, but you need to like readjust your standards.
No, the design is cool. It's just
The design-
The design heckin' rocks,
The
yeah.
the characteristics suck.
Yes.
He also has the best use of the feature because it can do the digging thing
Yeah.
with his Earth Shock drill claws,
Woohoo!
which would actually be seen in one of the 2006 Matoran of a similar but different element, the Pomatoran Velika. 8721.
I feel like those drills were used quite off, or were used in multiple different sets.
They actually were just used in Velika aside from Wanua, which really surprised me.
Yeah,
I
it seems like
thought-
they're more common.
Seems like they're more common.
I totally would have thought they were used in other stuff, but
not
no.
the most common. I
They
can
were
tell you
not.
which one's the most common.
The arrow, the
Air
air
katanas.
katanas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
air katanas
Yeah.
are
Those
used in
rock.
everything.
Yep. They're a great piece. I mean,
Yeah.
can't deny that. And also Onua's claws. All right.
Speaking of Onua,
Speaking of Onua, but spelled differently.
Another Onua.
Onewa. 8604. Onua the Toa of Stone featured a light brown color scheme, a unique color in Lego's palette that would swiftly disappear shortly after its appearance here. He featured the Kanohi Komau, the Great Mask of Mind Control. This mask would appear in the aforementioned Velika, but otherwise would remain rare. Onua's Toa tools, the Proto-Pythons, were exclusive to this set.
his mask is okay. It just kind of feels middling to me.
I never
agree.
really liked
So
his mask.
holy.
It's just mid.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
like half gone.
It's more air than
Yeah.
mask.
It looks so robot to me.
It again would have benefited from a visor.
Yes,
Like
I
you saw.
agree.
Yep.
for sure.
It's always reminded me of a scout trooper from Star Wars.
It does. Yeah.
Every single time I see it, I'm like, scout trooper.
Square visor style
Yeah.
look. Yep.
Yep.
I like the Protopitons.
Yeah.
They're cool.
Protopitons are pretty cool.
Yes, those are one of the more unique and cool Toa tools.
I like the chain
And that's saying
design.
a lot.
I think it's impressive that they managed to make something so long and thin that also doesn't just break. I've never had one of those break on me,
Yeah.
which is actually pretty impressive.
I know. It's nice.
True.
Like, they're good enough that Onua was my favorite Toa Metru before I read anything about him. Because, like, I like his mask well enough, and the Protopitons are just so unique a concept.
All right, next up, we got Matau. Matau, the Toa in dark green, bore the Kanohi Mahiki, the Great Mask of Illusion. He would share his mask with his 2006 Matoran counterpart, Uruk. That's set 8723. Matau's Toa tools are his arrow slicers, and they would be the most popular Metru tool outside of this wave, being featured in 2 of the 3 ships from 2008, the Raka T3 and the Jetrax T6, sets 8941 and 8942 respectively, as well as the Target exclusive limited edition Jetrax T6, which is 8942-2.
I didn't realize those Target exclusive.
That was a Target exclusive, yep. And it came with yellow pieces instead of silver ones.
Yep, because it was supercharged with energy.
It just looked, in my opinion.
know,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
no offense to people who have it. It still looks very cool.
I think they kind of dropped the ball on all those airships, if
Yeah.
I'm honest.
I don't know. I like the Jetrax.
Toa could already
Jetrax
fly.
is
Jetrax is pretty cool.
They could already fly.
You have 2 of them, don't you?
I have one.
Oh,
Yeah,
you have
But what if
Raka.
they flew super fast? Or with a jetpack that's a disc launcher?
And
The jetpack was simple. I just think they didn't have to develop into vehicles. They could have done like, I like the Gotorian had the crawlers. That was pretty cool. I just think you didn't need it.
yeah.
Let's 2 Boxor for now.
What's interesting about the arrow slicers was they were the only Metru Toa tool to get a recolor and be used outside of the Bionicle theme. They appeared in red in Exoforce's
Oh.
Grand Titan 7701.
I had that set. I
Yeah.
just remembered.
Well, it's weird because they are used in such a completely different context, and the color change is significant enough that I keep forgetting that they're even the same piece.
right.
Like, they look like they belong in Exoforce in
Yeah.
that set specifically.
Well, not a whole lot of people remember Exoforce. To
it's
begin
true.
with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do an
Exoforce
Exoforce
podcast
podcast
next.
next.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The
What-
mech builders before Ninjago.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. R.I.P. Exoforce. How do you guys feel
And
about
the wigs. The
Uh-huh.
wigs were
The
ridiculous.
wigs
Oh,
were insane.
I loved those. I loved them.
They were hilarious,
Favorite hair
but also
pieces.
ridiculous.
What do you guys think of Matau's mask and his arrow slicers?
I think it is good thematically. It fits the like slicker, more condensed theme of the Toa Metru, right? But I don't know. It's a little too dark and a little too simple for me to really love.
I agree. Yeah, it definitely fits. It fit the format a lot better, but as far as appeal, it doesn't look that great.
I love the Rocket Man vibe of it. I think it looks like if you look up a picture of
No, yeah, I know
the
what you mean.
Rocket Man character, I think it looks really cool. Honestly, this is probably an incredibly hot take, but I think basically take Matau and make him like brown and he would have looked way better. I know, it's really weird.
No,
That's the hottest take I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's just that his whole design would have looked better for a different Toa, I think. But I get why they did Matau and they were kind of stuck with the green color scheme.
No,
But I think almost any other color of green even would have looked better.
he looked
More different color
he
green, I think,
looked
would have looked
more aerodynamic than the other Toa,
Yeah,
But he
because
did.
of his mask.
He's very
which
Iron
fits-
Man-esque.
but
his
it
design
fits
is...
a Toa of air to be super sleek and again aerodynamic.
Yeah, it's just aerodynamic and it's a very different look from Lewa, who's our only other example of.
Well, because Lewa was just
An air
all spikes, just
Yeah.
spikes everywhere.
it's a completely different vibe.
Lewa sliced through the air. Matau glided along the air.
Yeah. I really like Matao's design, actually. I think it's grown on me a lot. I didn't like it very much when I was younger, but it's really grown on me a lot. But my opinion still stands. You guys are, of course, welcome to disagree. All right, and last but not least, we have Toa Metru in white. He claims the Kanohi Matatu, the Great Mask of Telekinesis. This mask would also appear in the 2006 Komatoran Kazi 8722 and in his own good guy 7716.
Oh, gosh.
Quick good guy white poly bag. Metru's Toa tools were his crystal spikes, which were exclusive to this set, but did feature a neat function where they could be attached to his feet to form a sort of snowshoe type of thing. It's actually really cool, and I don't know why they didn't do that for the other ones.
I know, he's the only Metru to have that.
Well, Matao's can connect on his back.
Yeah, but they all connect on his back. His are just designed to look like wings on his back.
That's true, yeah.
Well, it was interesting that all the other sets had, all the other Nuva sets previously had another function other than just being in the hands.
Yeah.
But you only see it in 3 of the Metru set. You see it because technically they can all fit to the back, but they don't all belong on the back or on the feet.
Like the snowshoes are definitely designed only for the feet.
Vakama's disc launcher belongs on the back, has some sort of function on his back. Matao's arrow slicers have some sort of reason to be on his back. The rest, no.
It's just storage.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know why they did that.
Well, and they even like basically removed a feature from Golly, or that was with Golly Nuva, where her hydro blades could be attached to her feet like flippers, and Nokama doesn't have that.
And Nokama doesn't have that,
which is kind of strange.
I know, it seems very bizarre,
but I don't know, man.
I digress.
I do digress. Metru is actually one of my favorite Metru designs. If not, he's not my favorite because Vakama's my favorite, but he's definitely my second favorite.
That's what I was gonna say. He for sure is my second favorite.
I think I
Vakama.
agree. Yeah, I agree. He's my second favorite.
Yeah. I think I would go Wanua, Vakama, Metru.
Really?
Yeah, because Metru, his torso is taller than the other ones, so looking straight on, it looks kind of whack.
His torso is actually exactly the same height as it.
No, I think it
looks different though.
It's definitely
looks
different
taller.
of some kind. Look it up. It's like one stud up or something.
Pretty sure they're all the same.
I would say, for me, it goes Vakama, Metru, Wanua. I kind of like Anua. His pikes put it up there. And then, unfortunately, it would go Nokama, Matao.
I think for me, it would be...
Which is sad, because I only have Vakama and Matao. It's a set.
Right. I feel like Vakama's mask puts him over the top for me because it's so timeless, and it just looks good on basically any character.
I like the flame launcher.
I do love the flame launcher.
Great.
So I gotta put Vakama top. I think Metru second. Third for me is probably Wanua. And then I think I would go Nokama, Matao, Onua.
Ooh.
I could switch Matao and Nokama.
Metru and Nokama are taller.
Are they?
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah, and the crystal spikes are really cool.
They look cool. His mask is super cool as well.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we're not going to talk about the best sets in the
we're not
series.
Because we're going to get to those later. Yep. Lecon later. All right. I think that concludes the technical section. Thomas, did you want to rank your Toa?
Well, I already gave mine.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
he did.
Do I want to rank? Sure.
The sets or the personalities?
No, the
How would you
sets.
rank them on aesthetic?
Aesthetic? I struggle because I did say I think I'd put Metru second, but on second thought, looking at him, I think Metru actually is my favorite. Yeah, I think he just has a nice balance of, I don't know, something about the way he's presented, like the amount that he takes up looks more full than any of the other ones. Like the crystal spikes are so large. And so I think when like he holds them out, he has more of a physical presence than any of the other ones do. They look pretty slim, and I think that's also part of the reason why I like Vakama, because the launcher is so large. It makes him look bigger and bulkier than any of the other ones. So I think that's primarily where I'm getting my, like, what attracts me to their design over the other ones. So like Nuju's probably first because I like his mask and I like the size of him with the crystal spikes. Same. Then next would be Vakama, again for the same sort of reasons. He has a great mask and the bulk of the launcher looks good. Then Whenua, because he has, again, a great mask and he also looks fairly large because of his tools. The last three are all struggle for me because I think Matao's probably my least favorite because he looks really wimpy in my opinion, and I don't love his mask. I don't hate his mask, but I don't love it.
I understand what you're saying though. Yeah.
So then I would probably put it would probably be Onua, Nokama, Matao as my...
It's interesting that we kind of basically agree on the first
the
three.
top three.
The top three and the bottom three is pretty much any mixture of these three characters.
Yeah.
And noticeably also Vakama is 1 or 2 in each of our estimates.
Because the mask and the disc launcher are just so good.
Yeah, they work together.
I also feel
Just
like
the overall-
Lego puts just more work into their like frontline character, you know.
Well, yeah, because it has to represent the entire wave.
Yep.
Yes and no. I think Anika did a good job of spreading it out a lot.
Yeah, but they definitely did pick a frontline character. It
Well,
was
yeah, they picked
Nuperu.
Nuperu as the frontline
Yeah.
character and did a lot on him. Gave him a mohawk for some reason.
And then they did it for
Holly.
Holly.
Great choice, because holy cow.
Holy cow.
Holy cow.
Holy cow.
Man.
That's enough puns, and now it's time to move on to the Chronicler's Corner and all that deep, juicy lore. You are now entering the Chronicler's Corner. The following content may not be appropriate for viewers unaware or unacquainted with the wider Bionicle lore, as major plot points and reveals will be spoiled. If you wish to avoid this section, skip to this time in the podcast.
1 hour, 9 minutes, 38 seconds.
Viewer discretion is advised. This is a section from the Nuju portion of the podcast that was cut out and moved to the Chronicler's Corner because it did mention spoilers. However, I thought it was very interesting, so I'm putting it in here. It will have some of the following context that you heard in the original section, just so you can follow along easier.
Writing and character dynamics, they tried so much harder once they got to the Anika.
The other thing too to take into consideration is the Turaga acted as mentors to the Mata in a way.
True.
And so in mentoring them, they easily could have passed on traits that they had once held, or tried to help them deal with traits that they had once held. You know, if say Nuju was calculated and very isolated, it makes sense for him to be able to teach Kopaka because he was once there. And he thinks the same way.
Say yes, that does make sense, except that the Mata were already established as characters like way long before, right? Like we talked about them being a team in Karda Nui fighting the Avoca. So it's like they wouldn't have been mentored by the Metru at that point. And so my assumption is that they didn't just lose all their character traits when they showed up on Mata Nui. They may have lost their memories, but the way you act, your character traits, I feel like are much more inherent to you than your memories. You know, like you would probably still make a lot of the same choices if you had your memories wiped, right?
And that's held pretty much even when the Matoran lose their memories coming to Mata Nui. This is all going in the Chronicler's Corner, by the way, because there's no way it's going.
Okay, yeah.
Because like Hafu on Metru Nui was a carver, on Mata Nui he's a carver. Akmu was a carver and a jerkwad on Metru Nui, he's a carver and a jerkwad on Mata Nui, so on and so forth, right?
So my point is that it's like I think that they could have definitely pushed them further into these.
Well, yeah, because we see that with Vakama and Tahu comparison.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, we see a completely different type of leader. So it feels like you're getting cut a bit short. when it comes to why they're so some of them are so similar and some of them are so different.
Yeah.
You're like, you did this over here. Why couldn't you do this over here?
Yeah.
And while we're in the Chronicler's Corner as well, I'll say that on the point of them trying to get them out of flaws they themselves possessed, Vakama, I think, actually does that when he gives Tahu the Mask of Time. Because Vakama, post the early things, his ego kind of flips. He goes from, oh man, I'm such a loser, I can't lead, to, I am God's gift to mankind, right? I will lead this team because I am the greatest thing possible. He becomes totally an ego monster, right? Leading up to when he joins with Rudica, because he's like, no one loves me, but I deserve to be loved.
Right.
And also, it shows when he gets the Mask of Time, right? He is very humbled, right? He's like, oh my gosh, I made the Mask of Time, right? I need to use this so wisely. So he knows what effect it would have on someone with a brash personality when he gives it to Tahu.
Yeah.
And it does tone down Tahu a lot, because
Tahu's like,
it's
I am going to use this sparingly.
Yeah, it's the one thing we see humble Tahu like on the spot. It's like, oh, this is the Mask of Time, right?
Yeah.
So I think it does accomplish that in that scenario.
That is cool. I do like that.
Whereas Nuju's like, I'm not going to speak Metoric at all. Boop, boop, bleep, bleep.
I am tired of people.
Yeah.
Toa team tier list. Everybody, Metru at the bottom.
Ooh.
Wow.
Thomas is like, I'm not going to deny that.
Competency wise, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I did like, I like how some of the heroes they did not flesh out, but I like the other. I like very specific Toa that they fleshed out to make them a little bit more. It felt like the Metru were more individuals than a team.
Yes,
and so they really fleshed out some of those individuals really, really well. But
Mostly
overall,
well,
yeah.
Actually, I have to push back on that a little bit, because to me, the main character of the Metru is Vakama, and he's really the only person of consequence on the team. And they've spent the vast majority of the story focusing on Vakama, especially the movies, and then also basically the whole Hortica wave in 2005 is pretty much centered around Vakama.
But I think
No Kama gets a lot to do in Hortica.
I also think you can't say that and go, oh, the Nuva don't primarily revolve around Tahu.
Yeah, they do, but it does feel like the other characters get a little bit more attention.
They don't get more attention, they make more of their screen time. When Pohatu's on screen, you're like, heck yeah, Pohatu. I love every word he says. When Manua's on screen, I go...
And it's not really until you get to the Toa Nika and the Toa Mari that it really feels like every Toa is actually getting equal or mostly equal spotlight. You know, they always pick
They have
one
to pick
person.
someone who's going to be,
You know, like New
a cut
Peru is the
above.
focus in the Anika, and then Holly is the focus in the Mari, and it's just like, you know, they pick somebody.
I think they just evolved
Or really
more
Motoro,
into
actually.
developing more personalities, like or more members of the team.
Yeah.
I personally, reading the Nuva, the Mata, I think it primarily focuses mostly on Tahu being the leader, and kind of you have Gali in there who's trying to calm him down, trying to make the team more cohesive. But the presence of Tahu and the way he commands, it almost forces him to be the spotlight.
Right.
Like he pushes into the spotlight.
It's very
And-
Red Ranger of him.
Yeah, it is. And I think that's probably some correlation right
Totally.
there.
And I think
'cause
the comics...
even the colors, that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah. I think the comics definitely help that perception a lot, because since they have to be so condensed, right? Tahu is a main player in every major event.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of Tahu. Whereas in the books, you see pairings where Tahu is not a part of it at all. And those take up a significant portion of the books, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's why I would have different
The
perspective.
comics very much centralize Tahu.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of, again, just his personality, it forces us to not be able to look at the other Toa more in depth.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Vakama's personality forces others to push their personality into the light because of how much less, like how almost docile he can be at some points.
True.
Where he's very reclusive and very doubting, and you have people who have to go, no, we're Toa for a reason, you know, look at us now. Like it very much it develops the other characters other than Whenua.
Right. And that gets so much worse in the Hortica too.
Yeah.
Well,
but yeah, I think really it's... Sorry, go ahead, Tom.
I was going to say, it's interesting. Nokama tries to turn Vakama into Tahu. Onua tries to take the Tahu out of Vakama.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's really... I mean, I'm totally biased because I love the Toa Nika Tomari.
You are Toa-tally biased?
I am Toa-tally biased.
We're just on a roll today, baby.
But, like, because to me, it's like this wave, or these two waves, the Toa Metru, Toa Hortica, are like kind of a practice run, and then you finally get to the Anika, and it's like, okay, we finally got a Toa team where everybody has about equal strength of personality, more or less, minus Huki.
Yeah. Huki loses a lot in transition.
And then, but, you know, and then it's like, so everyone gets some screen time. Obviously, there's a lot of focus on Motoro, which no one is sad about because Motoro's amazing.
I think they saw the narrative of the Red Ranger trope of the previous ones, and then they just kind of go, let's just not have a leader.
Well, but they do, and Jowler goes through his own unique leader arc.
But it's not like it's not like the main focus.
Yes, exactly.
Like that's his role as a leader is not up front and center.
Yes.
Constant.
Yeah.
He is the leader.
Yeah.
Whereas that is what everything revolves around and rolls back to when you go to the Nuva and the Metru.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really funny because to me, like, being in the professional world or learning about, okay, for example, right now I have to take a class on software development, and not software development as in developing software, but the management behind it, how you actually structure, like, and schedule this, right? And they talk a lot about leaders and leadership, and it seems to me like the way the first two teams are written is like the way you would think of leaders from maybe 200 years ago, let's say, right? Someone who takes charge, and they're like, yeah, I'm like, you listen to me and you're gonna do things my way. And they're usually very competent, and it usually works out, but not necessarily the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But that was the way leadership was done, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Or at least that's how it's thought about. And then, but now, like, if you go into a professional, like, position with that mindset, you are going to get hurt badly. Like, you are going to either get fired very quickly, or you're going to learn that you cannot take this mindset. It will not work, right? People will not listen to you, because we've kind of learned the psychology behind what makes a better leader. And I feel like that's more of like how they wrote Jowler in the Anika, is that he's not as upfront. He plays to the strengths of his team, not plays to the strengths of himself. Right. And it's like, that's what like professionals look for in leaders today in the actual workplace. And it's like, so it's interesting that they shifted the way they wrote a leader for the Anika and Mari. And I think it works better because it actually resonates, at least with me, on a professional level. It's like, yes, these are the leaders I actually like to follow because I've worked with both, you know, and it's like, this one works. This one, I understand what they're trying to do, and it's like, I'm willing to follow them. This one's a lot harder to do that with. And so I think that's why, for me, Jowler is actually a much more effective leader in that sense.
Yeah. Well, because Tahu is a leader because of force of will.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Vakama is the leader by force of necessity. He's the only one that knows where to go and what to do. Right. They have to follow him or they all die.
And to be fair, they tried in the Hordika. There was other leaders in the movie. Now they tried to take over. They realized Vakama is the only one who can actually do this.
Yeah, he definitely grows into the role, but he starts off necessity.
Exactly. And Jalar's kind of like that perfect mix.
Jalar's a leader because of force of skill. He is the most competent. He is the one with the most tools to lead. He was the head of the Takuro Guard, right? He learned directly from Turaga Vakama and from Toa Tahu.
Yeah.
So he knows all the lessons they gave and knows how to synthesize them into correct leadership abilities.
And he knows how to maneuver his team.
Correct.
So
he knows
everyone
his team.
works. Yeah.
So he
Everyone
can position them
works.
accordingly to be the most effective.
Right.
He's
Whereas
definitely the
Tahu would
most
be like,
strategic.
everyone go get him, right? And Vakama would be like, yeah, I'm going to get him myself because I can shoot disc,
Well,
whatever.
and I think one thing that Jalar does really well too is he trusts his team to do the right thing, right? Like when he lets Motoro just go off on his own, he does that out of a sense of trust, right? It's not like I'm going to make you stay and, you're going to do what I say. It's like, I trust you to do the right thing. And he does that with Holly, and he does that with Nuperu. He does that with a bunch of different people. Whereas like Tahu is very much, you're going to do my thing
or the
my
highway.
way, or get out of here. And that puts him at odds with a lot of the other teammates, especially the more strong-willed ones, right? And Vakama is just, sometimes he just doesn't, he's sort of similar in that way, but it's a lot of the time it's more indecision. It's like he needs to make a decision and he doesn't know how to rely on his teammates, how to let them make their own decisions to benefit the team, that kind of thing. So
he lets them make their own decisions, but not for the benefit of the team, just so he doesn't have to worry about it. Right.
Yeah.
And
that's what I was trying to say. You said it better.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting because the Metru really lay the groundwork for the perfect balancing act of the Anika, right? Whereas the Toa Metru are the quintessential Toa team, not necessarily the best Toa team, and the Metru are the worst Toa team, right? And they're lead by non-example. You synthesize them and get the Toa Anika, where it's like, okay, we now have two contrasts. What do we get, right? Where instead of trying to do direct contrasts.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think they fill that role really well to just give perspective to everything. They give perspective to the Toa Metru, to the Toa Anika, and perspective of the entire domed Matoran universe.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
Yep.
It's definitely a perspective
summary.
piece.
Good job, guys. All right. So
wait, was that it? Did you have anything else to say for
Chronicler's Corner? Because since it's a prequel, there's no events that lead after it that we need to know specifically about. The only crazy stuff, all the crazy stuff will happen in events specifically that we will cover. So I'm like, we don't really need that Chronicler's Corner. The only thing I guess I should point out is that the Morbazak was created by Makuta specifically for the purpose of driving all the people to the center, because once they were all there, Makuta was going to enslave them in the Matoran spheres. And Morpazak was actually his second experiment, the first being Karzani, the plant guy, who was too smart, too clever, and had too much force of will to obey Makuta, because he's like, why would I obey you, Dad? You're just a loser. So he's like, okay, you get out of here, new guy.
This is Makuta Pterodax we're talking about.
Yes, Makuta
And
Pterodax.
also Karzani the plant is named after, but not actually related to Karzani the being.
Or Karzani,
the island.
Completely unrelated.
Yep.
But
just sits there.
Yep.
related only in the fact that Karzani is known to be evil, and therefore that's why Makuta named the plant Karzani.
But there's no Morbazak.
Huh?
There's no previous Morbazak.
No. As far as I know, there's only the one Morbazak.
There's
Also, to be
Akmu's
clear,
other name
this is
Morbazak.
Makuta Pterodax, or as they will refer to him in this, the Makuta Metru Nui.
Is there, do we know why the Great Discs were made?
We
That's a
get to
good
that in the
question.
disc episode.
Okay.
It's because our taco was just chilling about. I'll make the most powerful artifacts of all time. Tuesday for me. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that comes up, because a lot of the lore revolves around the discs, and we'll talk about a lot of that in the
Well, and a lot of it
the
is
Kanoka
like,
episode.
oh, I want to be the best ever, so I'll make the most powerful thing ever.
Yeah.
And then it's just constant power.
When we get to our talk, it
grasping at
all will
power.
be explained.
Yeah.
Grasping at power.
Yeah, but I will have you know, just right here, we reiterate in the Great Disc episodes, but the great discs were just teleported to random spots in Metru Nui from Artaka.
Good to know.
Just like the masks on Matanui.
Makes
So
sense.
the teleportation is Greg's favorite device.
Yeah,
It's like, just teleport
It just
there.
happens to none of them happen to teleport somewhere peaceful or nice. It's all super dangerous and awful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Taka's like, you will work for this, weasels.
You are now entering the community portion of the podcast. In this section, we showcase some of our favorite creations from talented and passionate members of the Bionicle fandom. Alright, so we will move on to the community portion. Okay, so for the first image here, we have a Toa Metru fan art. It is gorgeous. It's by Ian Luisada on Twitter. Ex-Twitter, formerly Twitter.
Formerly known as Twitter.
So this is just, like I said, it's just a fan art representation of them. So it's meant to look a little bit more
It takes
complete characters.
Yeah, it takes the animations of the movie and mixes it with the actual design of the characters set wise. It looks very nice. Very sleek.
I really like it. This is one that I would definitely print out and put up on my wall. Just everything about it looks really nice because it really stays true to the kind of biomechanical look. Because there's so many crevices and everything, but they have this the bulk. I think that's what I'm really missing from the sets, and that this represents really well. Is they just look mean in their size.
They look filled in. They look ready to go into action.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But they look also
They're not
compact.
like stick. Yeah, they're not like sticks.
Yeah, exactly.
So great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, taking away some of the empty space helps a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have another fan art, and this is by Hard Bionicle Pick on X.
And this guy's username does not lie. This is a Hard Bionicle.
Yes, it is.
Again, X this one, he's trying to stay
True to the
really
set.
true to the set. Everything's designed to look exactly, or drawn to look like
it
the
looks
actual
great.
pieces. But
They do.
again,
These artists are doing a good job of, like you said, filling it in.
Yeah.
Doesn't look as thin
Yeah.
and unstable and weak as some of the sets sometimes portray. So they do a good job of really adding bulk to it.
Yeah. I'll say especially the disc launcher and Vakama just look fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Nuju, I think, is my favorite. Just the way he's looking over, so cold.
I love Winua in this one. Sorry, Onua
Yeah,
in this
Onua.
one
With
with
the
his
proto-titans.
jumping.
Yeah.
With the pro.
And this is just a straight up Spider-Man
nice.
pose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks so cool though.
And
Very
Vakama
cool.
has his blue visor in this one.
Oh
so-
yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
he
good
does.
point. Yeah,
And it just looks so much better.
it does.
It
It
does.
really
the
does.
blue visor would have made a huge difference.
Yeah.
We should do a custom version of this mask where
It
you could
literally
fit
wouldn't
a blue
even
visor
be
in.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, send it to me.
We'll do.
All right. Next up, we have a Vakama. What would you call it? Redesign, or
It's attempting to recreate the movie version.
Yeah.
okay.
Oh.
This is by Zarian on TTV message boards. This one's very cool, actually. I like it because it looks at first glance like the original set, and then you look at the details, and it's like, oh, that's cool. That's a unique way to do that.
Well, it takes what we said, and it just fills in Vakama.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
His legs aren't quite they're skinnier, interestingly, than the actual build, but they're fuller. There's less blank space, right?
Yeah.
So it just looks sturdier, in my opinion. Also, it has is it a heart light?
Yep.
The little,
the heart light, yeah.
which is kind of cool because again, that if they're trying to redesign it based off of the movie, that's definitely accurate.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of it feels like there's empty space right above the hips.
Yeah, it could do with some
But
more right
he
there.
needs them Pohatu hips
One
or
It
something.
is
Yeah.
better than anything I could do, so
Yeah.
I'm
Dude,
One
not gonna
thing that
harp too
always
much.
bothers me with redesigns is not using the hand pieces. But what's frustrating specifically about the Metru and only the Metru is that Matau's arrow slicers don't work with the new hand pieces. They have to use the old one.
Yeah.
And so any Metru redesign is going to be a little bit hamstrung by that, which is super frustrating.
These are really cool. They're Toa Metru reimaginings. And so I think
very skinny.
they look
is
sick.
by
Yeah.
Velocijackor on Flickr.
Yeah. So Matau is like super skinny, almost like Starscream
Damn,
looking.
Pahantu
Yeah,
got, or
Starscream is
Onua got
definitely-
hips, man.
Go to Onua.
Onua's looking very feminine.
That's
Yeah.
exactly the word I thought when I saw it.
That's
Like,
what I thought. It was
yep,
like,
very
dang,
interesting
that's some
choice.
narrow hips.
I love the cables going down to his proto Pythons, and they just look really cool.
They look, yeah, it makes it help with like the extension part.
Also,
Yeah,
A
it looks
plus
like.
for Galador usage.
And then we have Nokama.
Yeah. No
I love
comment.
the like samurai
That's-
armor.
yeah.
That looks
Wait.
kind of cool.
Interestingly, she looks less feminine than
Than
Onua.
I know, right?
The feet are really cool on this one.
Yeah.
Mhm. A lot of use of system pieces as well. Like a lot of system. I like that it actually matches the color of her mask.
Right.
But did you notice how light that one was?
Yeah, that one was super light mask.
This one by
I
far
like
my
this
favorite.
one. This is really good.
Yeah.
So this is Nuju, and like it's just so cool. It actually reminds me a lot of the first picture we looked at, like how they're just bulkier, more
Yeah.
filled out. Like this would be the physical
looks like-
representation
This one is by
of
Alex
it.
Mox, by the way. I don't know if we mentioned who the other one.
Oh, I
by.
didn't notice that.
Yeah, this
they were
it's a
different.
collaboration.
Okay. So for reference, the Nokama was by Arrow Okinen.
And Arrow does a lot of really cool mocks that
And
are great figures.
Onua was by Todd Rick. Yep. All of these are on Flickr. Did we miss one? Oh, Wanua.
Yeah, you missed one.
Okay. Let's do Vakama first.
Vakama looks so cool here.
This is by Patrick.
No, he
Biggs
looks very
also.
cool.
Nakama looks like
So
he
wait, sorry,
came out of
Samuel,
an-
can you say that again?
or-
Oh, I was just saying it's by Patrick Biggs. Patrick
this version
Biggs.
of Akama looks like it came out of an anime.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. The lightning
The
coming off
lightning
of the disc
coming off,
launcher
yeah.
looks so cool.
I mean, I think it's supposed to look like flames,
Yeah,
but
I
yeah,
love
it looks
it.
like lightning.
The silver mask.
I like these reimaginings because, like, when we looked at the Toa Metru reimaginings, it's like, what if they were more elemental, right? What if they looked like this? This one, it's what if they looked more city? What if they
More
looked
metropolitan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
More artificial.
I love that. Like, I don't know if this is the intent, but it looks like he's wearing like a biker jacket.
jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely gives that impression. I also love him holding the disc in the offhand.
Yeah. And also the stand.
Mhm.
I love that like basalt like style design.
And the
That's
legs
really
are
cool.
fantastic
And
as
the shoes.
well. Holy
Yeah.
cow.
yeah. Big fan of this
This
one.
is a great design. Who's that by again, Samuel?
Patrick Biggs.
Patrick Biggs.
I think we also did not compliment the Nuju one enough. That one
yeah,
is
we kind of moved on from
incredible.
Nuju. The backpack especially is what blows me
Yeah.
away. It's so well made.
I
Yeah.
also love this design.
So
Yeah.
this
Love,
is
love,
by
love.
Loaf Build.
And it's,
This is Wanua.
yeah, we knew it.
That looks like a Toa of Earth.
Yeah, he's got these massive like hammer arm things. almost.
Jackhammer. Yeah, like
He just
jackhammer
looks
arms.
powerful.
Yep. Mhm.
And also the use of the Duplo camera pieces is brilliant.
You know what
Oh,
it
that's
kind
super
of
smart.
looks like? You
the
guys
Ben
watch?
10 alien.
No, it looks like real steel.
Yeah,
Like
it does.
Zeus?
Yeah, it does.
It does.
You're right.
It looks like Zeus, which I think that would be a great design for a Toa of Earth because I feel like they're supposed to look bulky. They're supposed to look powerful.
Yeah.
They're physically drilling through the earth, and it's not like super hard because they're Toa.
Yeah.
They can just do it on a whim.
Also,
So-
the yellow striping of it, it's like, okay, that's industrial, hazard stripes
Mhm.
because
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
in the city, right? Like,
No, these are great
these are
designs.
great
the
reimaginings.
NPU goes crazy on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, and then next up we have a physical imagining of the designs from the movies.
Yeah.
So, these are supposed to look like how they were portrayed in Legends of Metru Nui.
Which- Okay. The orange and red color, the orange and dark red color scheme on Vakama looks amazing.
That's funny. I don't really like that one or Matau as much, but I think Nuju and Wunua especially look phenomenal.
I actually really love all of the colorings on this one.
I don't like Nakama, and I don't like Matau.
Really? You don't like Nakama?
No.
I really like Nakama.
I like Nakama's design. I think all of them, again, I do like, except Matau.
Notice how Nuju is almost entirely unchanged. Because he was already perfect.
He was already perfect. I like the hunch on Wunua.
Yeah.
I just love my toe of earth to be hunched in some way.
I wonder if this is by the same person who did the Toa Haga. Because that's giving
it does look very similar.
Manga.
Yeah.
Sure.
So this is by Breadlord64 on Reddit. Okay.
Ooh.
Next up, we have the
Likan.
Toa Likan revamp by Bob the Doctor 27 on Flickr. This one looks actually very similar to the Vakama one, the
movie version.
Yeah, the movie version of Vakama.
And he has
the
fingies.
light heart. His what? Oh,
he has fingies.
Ew, don't describe them.
That
like
is short for fingers. Yeah, I really like this design. I think he has a lot more bulk to it that he didn't have before, which is really nice. It especially matches with the size of his fire swords.
Prefer a little bit darker red on Likan. I think the velvet red matches really well with the gold. But it's not enough to just be like, oh, this is terrible, because it's actually a really good design.
Yeah, I really like it. And the gold on Likan just always looks sick.
Oh yeah.
All right, and then for the last one today, we're back at Ghost Hunter Gun on
Dude
X.
just does not miss.
Yeah, this guy, he just got some fire designs here. So we're looking at several of the Toa Metru. So first up is Vakama. Again, just...
Is this supposed to be it has a Star Wars-y vibe to it?
We talked about it previously, that it looks like 2003 Clone Wars. That's almost exactly the style he draws in.
It definitely takes away. I always thought the Metru had a little bit more of a knight type of style, like a medieval knight, whereas this is more like steampunk.
Yeah, which I really like, because I feel like that is
and
more
the
Metru
wings
Nui.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big ol' wings on Matau are very sick.
I really like this Nokama design.
The scarves on Bionicle just look sick.
yeah.
So giving a Nokama a scarf looks great. And also the different colors on her mask, I think, really make it pop.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, the different coloring on all over, just it blends well, but still makes everything pop.
Nuju's coat
what a
looks so
goat.
cool.
Yeah. Epic coat. And his crystal spikes are just 7 times bigger.
Just for me, that's a bit too big.
Yeah. It's a tiny bit too big for me.
It's a tiny bit
also.
oversized. If those were the same size, if that was for Wunua,
Right.
then that would make it feel better. But Nuju feels like a more precise character. He's not carrying around massive things.
I love the coat, though. He also does have
The coat looks great.
few more designs. So I really like how he did Wunua. He took him in a different direction than a lot of other people take him.
Are you talking about Onua or Wunua?
I meant Onua, sorry. Where he makes him actually bulky. Unlike a lot of people make him a lot thinner for some reason.
Also, he gives him the visor, like we talked about. They all look better with visors and different colored eye.
Yeah.
Dude, Wunua is thick.
Yeah.
Look at that boy.
Yep.
Bro is chonked up.
He looks like the way he's hunched over. He looks like a dwarf.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of
He's
does.
ready to go mining.
I mean,
which is he was an archivist,
That's a good thing for him to look like.
They send him in when the stasis chambers fail.
There's also one more really cool Vakama
Rock
design.
and stone.
We did say we were going to start a Deep Rock Galactic
This
podcast.
is potentially spoilers, but this is Vakama with the Vahi. And I just think it looks really cool.
I like this.
Very Doctor Strange inspired, isn't
very
it?
much Doctor.
It's also cool seeing all the different masks around him, right?
Yep.
And also, I love putting the Vaki over a normal mask rather than removing the mask and putting the Vaki on it, because it looks so stupid.
It does. It's a very goofy looking mask.
Yeah.
Wonder how much that mask goes for.
Not very much. It came in
The
every
Vahi?
It came in every Vaki set.
Wait, the Vahi came in every Vaki set?
Yeah.
Wow.
The time, yeah, the Mask
They
of
were
Time.
like technically limited edition, but they were like
It's
second
the,
run.
like the purple Rakshi thing.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
That's a lot.
Which those
more
actually go
expensive.
for money for some reason. I don't know why.
Also,
'cause they
random
weren't-
side note: that blue mask Jacob was talking about goes for $70 to $80.
Dang.
So-
Guess who has it?
What? We do?
Yeah.
Didn't you say
Yeah,
Guys,
sell
we're
it?
rich.
It's still not the most expensive one.
It's not. Nope. There are some masks out there that go for money.
Money.
Big money.
Well, we're at the end of today's episode. Anyone have any closing comments?
I have no thoughts at all.
That's usual for him.
Thank you for being here, Spencer, and we will end today's episode.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Kanoka next time. Stay tuned. Wait, no. Legend of Metru Nui next time. And then Kanoka. No. Then Protodermis. Then Kanoka.
You'll figure
No,
out your schedule
in
later.
Timeline.
order.
Yeah.
Figure out your schedule later.
Yeah.
Time to learn about something else.
Yeah. Probably Bionicle related.
But really, you never.
Could be Hafu related. Who knows?
When we pick our topics, we shoot a disc of Reconstitute at random, so you never know what it's gonna be.
A Hafu episode win. I've been your host.
Pat Sajak and Vanna White. This brings us to the end of today's podcast. If you enjoyed the discussion, please follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. If you like to watch instead of listen, you can also find us on YouTube. The Barraki Talk Show is only made possible thanks to viewers like you. Thank you.